Well, hello and welcome. Yes, it's a last minute. I've been trying to get to sleep for a few hours, but I can't sleep. So I thought, what do I do but come on and see how everyone else is doing? It's 11:35 p.m. at the moment. So yes, it's heading towards a late night. It is Friday night for a little while longer. So I thought, let's have a look at what's gone on in the world of Katie, and of course, President Biden. Wow, did he stuff up or what? Surely there has to be some concerns that if he keeps this up, hey, Mama Kay, that Trump is going to be a shoo-in. I can just imagine. I mean, seeing we've had a few idiotic prime ministers in our time, but what we're watching at the moment, in my opinion, with Biden, makes our prime ministers look like angels. So it's really quite scary. So here we go. We are going to look at this because Katie has, and I did share it on my community tab, she has been defending this whole thing, and this is Ken.
Yes, no doubt, 100%. $110% sure. No doubt, no question, not at all. Sorry. No, but God has his miracles, doesn't he? You guys, or do we live together now? We don't. Not technically. I am the dad. Y'all better get used to it. Y'all gonna be seeing us for a while.
So yes. There you go. Says Ken Oka and Gypsy Rose Blanchard went live last night. Ken addressed questions about the pregnancy. He stated he's 100% the baby's father. He also said Gypsy's not technically living with him. She continues to live with his parents and visit Ken at his apartment. If you notice, that's the same place as she did her announcement. So my question is, where was he when she did the original thing? Many have wondered if the pregnancy will delay the divorce process. According to family sources, the divorce will be finalized in October. When the baby is born, Ryan and Ken will be allowed to take a paternity test to confirm the biological father. There's a few people that have said that, Mama Kay. This would be an administrative test to satisfy the court and ensure that Ryan is not the father. However, there is no doubt that Ken is the father. Ken and Gypsy conceived the baby in late April and early May when he was visiting her. The couple attended Jazz Fest in New Orleans. Gypsy is due at the end of January 2025, meaning she conceived while she was with Ken. Ryan and Gypsy split on March 25, 2024, according to her petition for divorce. She has been living separately from Ryan since. Regarding Gypsy's registry, Ken said she posted her registry like most people post their registries. I never posted a registry. Wasn't around. Actually, I don't know anyone. I mean, it's not something that we necessarily do in Australia. Unless they're going to have a baby shower and then they'll give you the link. Usually it's when you're invited to, Despite many items appearing to be purchased, the account has been trolled and many of the items listed as purchased have been according to the family. What? The account has been trolled and many of the items listed as purchase have been according to the family. That makes no sense. No one is obliged to donate or send them gifts to the registry. Someone says most people don't post the registry at 11 weeks. She said it didn't sell out. The site allowed people to hold stuff with emails. The emails used were hateful ones. No one bought off the registry. She got a few gift cards. Now, someone says the registry is a tacky idea. a tacky move. Why was I instantly convinced this was Jimmy from Love is Blind? I think Ken is just like Ryan, loving the fame. Or he's somebody apparently that doesn't like the fame, remember? I heard. Anyone who writes to someone in prison cannot be all there. Didn't he say he didn't want or didn't like or want any attention, yet he's on TikTok? I thought this was the guy from Love is Blind, says. They're saying. I hope she's working on herself during this time. Is she in therapy? She's been through so much. And without a crystal ball, says, yep. Good. I hope people in her life are real with her. She needs that. No, she even said she had no therapy in prison. On one of her lives, she said she talks to a therapist on the phone, not in person. In my opinion, she needs years of therapy and to see somebody in person. Someone says, I hope it's neither Ryan or Ken's. Someone says, not sure why you continue to give her attention. Yes, her mother was horrific, but Gypsy was complicit in her mother's murder when she had so many other options. Sure, she did. That's why it lasted 23 years. And then someone says, just a heads up, if she conceived with one man while married to the other in the state of LA, her current husband at the time of conception is still legally the father unless he signs a form at the hospital saying he denies the baby. She may want to get an attorney involved in that now. And Katie says they are aware of what needs to be done. Is the baby going to be tested for microdeletion syndrome? Gypsy does have deletion, but doesn't have any of the symptoms. She's a victim of abuse. So please don't be one of those people. She's been consulted by many people to work with a genetics doctor to ensure the baby will be okay. She absolutely does. And even if she didn't, her baby very well could. It's not wrong to be curious. They can't even move in together for another 11 months. Why? They can't live together while she's on parole, however long that is. Changed the tune. All along she's been saying the pregnancy wouldn't affect the... Well, correct. Oh, wait, I'm waiting for the next post. Yeah. She said she could not be having children. She said she should not be having children. She needs to be counseled. Now, remember on the episode of her show with Ryan, she said she didn't have time for kids. And apparently she got pregnant twice, allegedly, and took the pill. So here is my other question. Here's another question for you all. If every time she did the deed with Ryan and didn't use contraception, she took the pill, the whatever the pill is, the thing up pill, why didn't she do it after doing the deed with Ken? And obviously it was unprotected. So why didn't she take the pill then? Unless she thought there was a chance she was going to get pregnant. What a stupid guy. A miracle is not in the world what it's called. She's so irresponsible to get pregnant. She has zero life skills. And could have been on birth control. She's thirsty. Anyone who wanted to take care of her could have had her. I would revoke her probation for this. It's simply another negligent thing she's done. She's a mess and no one deserves her name or her future kid. Poor kid. Who's your mum, Gypsy Rose Osai? Says you cannot get promotion revoked for having a baby. It's all wild. There's nothing legal about it. Do you work for the state? She's neglecting her own personal care. As a former probation officer, I absolutely could revoke her for many things already. She's committing a crime by being married and pregnant with another man's baby. She's manipulating and sick. Laugh all you want. She's still sick. And men will take advantage of her with this. It's legit, not a crime. And then she said she won't be revoked for being pregnant. She's complying with her parole conditions. Also, adultery is not a crime in Louisiana. She legally separated from Ryan as of March 25. Like, isn't it, hello, Sarah, isn't the definition of adultery still being married to somebody? Because I thought that it was somebody who's married and somebody who's not married. So even if they're separated while they're still married, it's so let's see what Louisiana's definition of. So let's see what the legal definition of it is in Louisiana, because that's, so it says Louisiana is a no-fault state, meaning that you do not have to prove to the court that your spouse has done something wrong. A no-fault divorce in Louisiana requires only a period of physical separation from the spouse of about 180 days, if there are no children. So does 180 days mean, does that take it to October? Okay, for the purposes of proving fault in Louisiana, adultery is just generally defined as sexual intercourse during the marriage with someone other than one spouse. Louisiana courts have expanded the definition to include oral, and other Louisiana courts have held adultery as a grounds of divorce is not limited to actual sexual intercourse. In the absence of sexual intercourse, repeated sexual contact between spouse and non-spouse has been enough to satisfy the court that adultery has occurred as sufficient grounds for a fault-based divorce. So even, I guess, if Gypsy, I mean, it could be argued that if Gypsy's even had contact with Ryan, for example, you could still say the actions was similar to married couple living apart. And so, I mean, Katie is adamant that it's not adultery, but it's the legal definition in Louisiana is defined as somebody doing the deed with somebody that's not your spouse. Now, the majority of Louisiana divorces will be filed on no fault. This allows you to, so 180 days. It's important to note that time periods listed can be misleading. Time delays caused by required procedures. Court calendars can eventually drag the divorce process out an additional 1 or 2 months. The clock doesn't start running on the date you file the petition for divorce, rather on the date that your spouse is served by the sheriff with a certified copy of your divorce petition. Yes, I did see that last night. The sheriff has 10 days to try and serve your spouse. After 10 days, the sheriff is unable to serve the divorce papers of spouse. Your attorney can request that the part up. So here we go. So your 180 days starts on the date that Ryan was served, not the date she's separated. On the date your spouse is served with a certified copy of the petition of divorce, or the date that your spouse executes a waiver of service and receives a certified copy of the divorce petition, the clock begins to run on your judgment of divorce. It is from this time, the 180 days of separation, if there is no minor children, or 365 if you have minor children with a spouse, must take place. On the 181st first day after the service of divorce petition, your attorney can file a rule to show cause why judgment of divorce should not be granted. The court will then set a date for you to appear and request the judgment of divorce. Your spouse has an opportunity to appear in court and give reasons why you should not receive your judgment for divorce. So Katie is saying here, adultery is not a crime in Louisiana. She legally separated Ryan from the 25th of March. But as we've just discovered, it's not from the date that you separate. It's from the date that Ryan was served. So it's actually technically 10 days after that. And then they've said it may be still another 2 or 3 months. And if she's saying October, the courts are closed over December, quite possibly it won't happen till after she's given birth. So please stop giving her attention. I'm sick of death about hearing Gypsy. You don't believe her, Mummy Kate. The more I learn about her and the case, the more I dislike her and feel she should be back in jail. All right. Now, Gypsy and Ken are aware of what needs to be done legally for paternity. Now we're going to be lectured. Gypsy Rose Blanchard pregnancy news is causing a lot of controversies on the conspiracies on the internet. I have spoken directly with the family and Gypsy about her pregnancy, and here is what is important to know. Gypsy and Ken are aware that they will have to establish paternity under the law due to her pending divorce. Ken and Ryan will take a paternity test after the baby is born to confirm paternity. Now, that's really interesting because he's going around saying it's 100% mine, it's 100% mine, but then they're neglecting to state that there has to be a paternity test to satisfy the law. At some point in time, a test has to be done. Ryan was told about the pregnancy weeks ago. He was obviously not happy with the news. However, he never contested that Ken was the father. Well, really? You're going to say, hey, I'm pregnant. It's not your baby. I mean, I don't know how you... I don't know how you... how he was supposed to do that. Now, even though the law in Louisiana is presumptive to the legal husband, a paternity test will confirm the baby's father. So she's admitting that Louisiana gives presumption to the husband. And the baby was conceived in late April, early May, while Ken was in town visiting. Ken was in town visiting Gypsy. At the time, she was not with Ryan. Ryan can also sign a document stating he knows he's not the father. In my opinion, I think the dates are too close. And they're trying to say that the day that they first did the deed after getting together, that they got pregnant straight away. We all know that it always takes a couple of days. I love how I know. As I said, she knows, right? She knows when conception occurred. She probably has first-hand knowledge there. And why would if I was Ryan's lawyer, I would be saying I'd make the paternity happen. I'd do the paternity test because just for that peace of mind, because up until the divorce, until the divorce is finalized, he's presumed to be the father. So why not get it out the way? She's not violating. Adultery is not a crime in Louisiana. The couple legally separated on March 25 to 2024. Louisiana law doesn't allow divorces until a couple lives apart for 6 months. Yes, but that's presuming that there's no adultery, etc., etc., etc. She's not violating parole by getting pregnant. Ken and Gypsy took down the registry. Several people behind the scenes told her, including me, to not post the registry for the public. She was excited and didn't think it would blow up. She knew what she was doing. So negatively. She took down the registry. The items appeared to have been purchased, were not purchased. Gypsy's a grown woman and she's going to do what she's going to do. Stop trying to make her behave as though she lived a normal life when she didn't. It's crazy. They already did the baby announcement pictures this fast. Oh, of course, she just loves attention. Now, some people have said that have better than me, that have looked at this ultrasound pictures and said they have to be fake, because if you're 11 weeks pregnant, you don't get ultrasound at 11 weeks. Then she says, Gypsy literally can't win no matter what she does. Someone's saying, I'm very conflicted by the whole thing. I'm not saying Ryan was exactly bad, but I do think Gypsy is still a little younger mindset. I find it cringy when she's telling her half-sister about their sex life, and then I felt she was trying to annoy Ryan, then film him. I think she needs to heal. I know she's missed out and wants to feel loved, but at the same time, I think she's being used. I know not everything was filmed, but it's most likely for entertainment purposes. I'm from the UK. Her pregnancy photos are adorable. And then someone saying Ryan was no good. But you got to remember also that it was a reality TV show. They also had an agenda. They filmed, and when things were edited, it was edited a certain way to tell a particular story. They want to make her look like she's the victim, not him, remember? And then someone says she shouldn't be with anyone right now. She's barely been out of prison. She's been married, divorced with another man, and pregnant. Her stepmom was in her ear the whole time talking smack about Ryan. I have heard that. I've heard people say that her mum was in her ear, her stepmom was in the ear the whole time, and that's really sad. Wasn't the stepmom also responsible for Ken coming back in the picture? Someone says, I tried to explain the process in the comments a few days ago and I got jumped on. Turns out I was right. They can actually do a DNA test while she's still pregnant. Technology is amazing now. My niece did this in the first trimester. Yes, they can, but it does come with a small risk of miscarry. Many opt to do it after birth. It is a big deal with the courts in the state of Louisiana. So what everyone is saying is that even though KJ is trying to dismiss that it's such a big thing, everyone's saying it is a big thing. Okay, she and KJ deserve each other, and yes, Kay kept up with Ken. She says, Ryan isn't contesting that he is the father. This is more just an administrative requirement to satisfy a court. It's not a big deal. That is what I was saying before, says this person. They have to do a paternity test because if you're married when the baby was conceived, that automatically makes Ryan the legal father. They have to do the paternity to prove otherwise for the court. Katie says Ryan can actually sign the document saying he denies that he's the father. We don't expect him to do that because Ryan will milk this for sympathy and attention. Well, actually, it's his legal right, actually. Remember, he's not the one that went off and cheated, because that's essentially, I mean, let's call it what it is. She cheated. And if it was any other person, how would Katie be reacting? How is her divorce going to be over so fast, someone says? And then it says, apparently only to be separated for 6 months. Where I live, it's 2 years. I think his ex is dragging it out on purpose, someone says. I think because Ryan isn't skinny, he's not photogenic enough for publicity, which pees me off, says Cheap Glass. And Michelle says, hello, Michelle. He would want to know. Well, wouldn't you want to know? Someone says, who cares? And she says, that got a response. Well, according to KJ, the legal expert, no. But people are saying that for the divorce to be finalised, they have to know. See, here's the thing. If they're not going to take a paternity test until after the birth of the baby, and to be divorced, you have to satisfy who the father is, then it makes logical sense that they can't get divorced until they've had the paternity test. But that's just talking logically, but that's not what KJ's saying. And as we have found out here, that the time ticks. The date of separation is the date that the person was served by the sheriff, or the date or executes a waiver of service and receives a certified copy. The clock begins to run on it. So the 180 days of separation occurs after it's been served. And then they have said that due to the courts, it still could take another 2 to 3 months to process. So I am betting that the divorce will not happen until after the baby's born, and then paternity will be established. Someone says she's conflicted. So people, someone, can she get a divorce now she's pregnant? In wherever they live, you can't get divorced while pregnant, even if the baby's someone else's. You would need to wait till the baby's born and a paternity test is done showing Ryan isn't the father. If he was, then they would need to establish physical custody before finalising the divorce. That's my interpretation of the law. Hang on. But Katie says, yes, she can. But here's the issue I've got. Ken and Ryan will take a paternity test after the baby is born to confirm paternity. Even though the law in Louisiana is presumptive to the legal husband, a paternity test will confirm the baby. So even so, according to KJ, they'll get divorced under the guise that if the divorce was to be granted in October, Ryan would be deemed the father of the child, right? Under Louisiana law. And so when the baby's born, he'd be on the birth certificate. It doesn't make sense. And then they'd have to go back to court to have the paternity test. It doesn't make sense. To me, it's just a waste of court time. Well, I'm still betting SD that something's going to happen, and she will lose it or something. That something's going to happen. Yes, I did hear that. I heard that she's going after Crystal Bill's channel. It's a good thing I have a lot of other stuff that I do on my channel, and I think that's what's my savior at the moment. Because I'm doing other stuff. She can't say that I'm purely about her. So she's got that up again. Does Ken have a job? So now she's after on Sister Wives again. Because I think you'll find she'll find out. I don't know what this is, but this is about Crump. What's the full rule? Bet you she got it from somewhere else. Attention eyes. Oh yeah. Something, I don't know what this is about. Anyway, that was what KJ's doing. Yeah, she's tried to strike her. She's got 2 strikes now, apparently, Crystal Bill. And she's not, I mean, I feel for her because she does a lot of good in the community. Let me just find that. I'll just find her. Let me just find her Cactus Bill. Sorry, I call her Crystal Bill so often. So people can claim the, yes, that's right. Well, that's the thing. She uses Sister Wife. She uses TLC stuff and says it's under fair use. But anybody else that uses any of her stuff, she goes after them. Let me read what Bill said. Was it on here or was it on Instagram? I think it was on Instagram, wasn't it? No, I don't think she's put it on here. I'll go back to Instagram. So yeah, I'm not. I'm not an expert in Louisiana law, but my interpretation of the law is that you can't get divorced until paternity's been established, unless Ryan wants to sign it away. But why would you sign it away? Why would you? Because it's too, in my opinion, the dates are too close together. Because we don't know. Remember, everything Katie knows, she's been told by Gypsy. And I don't really believe anything that is said. So she says she's got 2 copyright strikes. She's received 2 in 2 months. Only reason it may be truthful is because of her nose job surgery on April 5. Well, that is true. My advice to Bill is that she needs to say that it's actually fair use. But I also believe she's doing it as a form of intimidation and bullying because she wants people to stop talking about her. So. Her nose job on April 5, but was she pregnant? Do we know if she was pregnant then? And didn't she get the nose job? Didn't she get all this work done for Ken? Not Ryan. I saw a clip where Ryan said she didn't need to get anything done because she was beautiful in his eyes, which is all you really want, isn't it? Somebody that thinks that you're the most beautiful person in the world. Can I? I can. Yeah. I can see if I can. But it isn't fair, particularly when she it's deemed, when people have complained about her content. Yes, so the email spoofing may not be working. Yes, she's starting to slide channels. But you reminded me, Michelle, I was supposed to do it, but I had a bit of a bad end of day. So my day started out, and I haven't been able to sleep because, what happens is when you have a bad day, you're mulling over everything. And so hence why I got up. Because I'm now into Saturday morning. Let me just tell you something else. So I want to talk about something something that's happened. So, an Australian Olympic gymnastics coach has withdrawn on the eve of Paris departure due to allegations of inappropriate behaviour. You know, KJ doesn't get struck for some reason. Now, what happens? We have a working with children register, and we have to. So, if you have any allegations that have been made against you, for behaviour against children, you know, there's reporting processes. But there's this loophole, and there is so you're preaching to your sleep affects everything. Yes. So this person got dismissed from a job for inappropriate behaviour with a gymnast, but there was a non-disclosure agreement, so which meant that nobody could talk about it, and so that person, he's been able to get further jobs. Now, I believe it's all just allegations at the moment, but just recently, Gymnastics Australia had been under investigation for failing to protect gymnasts over a 30-year period, and it was really damning, and so they actually have put lots of things in place to stop this. But it hasn't stopped. I do want to talk about Trump too in a minute later. It hasn't stopped somebody from getting through the loophole. Okay, it hasn't stopped it from happening. So I just want to discuss this. I know that American gymnastics have had similar issues. All right. So a gymnastics coach selected to accompany an Australian women's team to Paris has withdrawn from the event after allegations of inappropriate behaviour made by a former colleague came to light. The allegations are accusations he made comments about the colleagues. In the allegations are accusations he made comments about a colleague's body. Now, remember, they're just accusations. The Australian Olympic Committee said it was not aware of any integrity matters when he was selected, but it's committed to safeguarding all members. Now, he is the personal coach of one of the athletes. A high-performance gymnastics coach has withdrawn the day before he was due to fly to Paris after allegations of inappropriate behaviour made by a colleague came to light. The Olympic Committee has confirmed that the coach withdrew on Thursday after the ABC raised the allegations with the body. Included in the claims that the coach made comments about the colleague's breasts and slapped her bottom. Questions have been raised to whether he should have been selected until allegations have been fully probed. So a spokesman for the Australian Olympic Committee said they had deselected him, and he has, after he withdrew as a coach. They weren't aware of any integrity matters, and therefore didn't question his suitability. Further, all members of the Australian Olympic team are required to make such a declaration with signing the AOC team membership agreement. The AOC is committed to safeguarding all team members and have requirements in place to support those under 18. The person in question declined comment. It's raised questions about Gymnastics Australia coach selection process. And of course, Gymnastics Australia hasn't responded. All our members and participants have obligation to protect and maintain the integrity of sport, as well as the health and well-being of our athletes, said a spokesperson. Complaints raised with Gymnastics Australia are investigated through our integrity unit, and they've named the club that he's currently working with. I don't know how I'd feel if I was a mother of a gymnast to find out that one of your coaches has got cloud. In 2021, he was terminated from one of the largest gymnastics centres in Melbourne. And a letter was sent to the Sports Peak body in July 2022, which made allegations about his termination before he left. The letter, written by a former coaching colleague, prompted the then chief executive, who has since left the organisation, to meet the complainant. I remember when he'd not long started at the place, he slapped me on the bum a couple of times in the gym. That was early on, around 2013. The woman, who does not want to be named because she's still coaching high performance gymnastics, said she saw inappropriate behaviour several times throughout his employment. She said their relationship, which was solely professional, ultimately became toxic. I was constantly bullied, intimidated, put down in front of athletes, made to feel like I was inferior of the partnerships, and he's the alpha. who'd even used the word alpha outwardly in front of athletes, in front of parents, in front of coaches. She said she used to refer to her bottom as bottom biatch, which he explained as a pimp's top girl, and regularly called her a minion. In 2020, he allegedly made sexual comments to the woman while they were at an international gymnastics competition in Montreal. He referred to my breast area as droopies. I fobbed it off as a joke because I wanted to put across that we have a very professional relationship. But inside, it was very embarrassing to have someone talk about my breast in front of somebody else. On one of the other days before the floor, he said, I filled out my top really well. The former coaching colleague said on another occasion in February 2021, she witnessed this coach calling the gymnast anorexic and a moo cow. Hello, short order. She said that when she confronted him about the comments, he became furious. I pulled him up on that and said, you cannot use that word. That is so bad. You cannot say that. He got aggressive and said, well, there you go then. Go and tell management. He breached the rules during COVID and went and coached a gymnast at the home. But there was multiple complaints. Breached that. He then moved. But the termination contained confidentiality clauses, which means the gymnastics club that sacked him can't talk about him. One gymnastics insider did want to be named. So confidential clauses are bound decision makers, colleagues, and clubs from airing even substantial findings of inappropriate behaviour, and that's how they've got away with it. So now Gymnastics Australia's selection policy has been in question, and Gymnastics Australia is now being accused of failing their duty of care. So it's very, very interesting. There's been no comment from the club that he's working at now. So, and it hasn't KJ been very quiet, though, about Biden? I cannot believe some of these gaffes, though.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
Oh, and then there's this one. Oh, it's
Picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, so I think she's not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one, the fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again. Couldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, so I think she's not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one.
Apparently, and then he says, by the way, yes, I know the difference. One's a prosecutor, the other's a felon. Donald Trump posted, Crooked Joe begins his big boy press conference with, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, though I think she was not qualified to be president. Great job, Joe. And he's denied that he needs an early bedtime. So, here we go.
Look, what I said was, instead of my every day starting at 7 and going to bed at midnight, it'd be smarter for me to pace myself a little more. And I said, for example, the 8, 7, 6 stuff, instead of starting a fundraiser at 9 o'clock, start at 8 o'clock. People get to go home by 10 o'clock. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, and if you look at my schedule since I made that stupid mistake in the campaign, in the debate, I mean, my schedule has been full bore. I've done, where's Trump been? Riding around in his golf cart, filling out his scorecard before he hits the ball? I mean, look, he's done virtually nothing. And I don't know how many, don't hold me to it, roughly 20 major events, some with thousands of people showing up. And so I just think it's better. I always have an inclination, whether I was playing sports or doing politics, just to keep going, not stop. I just got to just pace myself a little more, pace myself. And the next debate, I'm not going to be traveling in the 15 time zones a week before. Anyway, that's what it was about. That's what it was about. And by the way, even with that, I love my staff, but they add things. They add things all the time. At the very end, I'm catching hell from my wife for that. Anyway, look.
Is it true though? I heard someone say that Mrs. Biden, sorry, Dr. Biden, has actually had the Marine Band write a song for her for when she attends events, got her own theme song. Oh, yes. She does. She's got her own version of Hail to the Chief, apparently. Why? So this is an article. Here is an article from 2022. I heard it and I went, really? Jill Biden has her own walk-up music now. The Marine Corps band was instructed last fall to come up with an entrance theme for the First Lady. The band now has its repertoire and a piece entitled Fanfare to the First Lady. The song, the source said, is essentially Jill Biden's personal hail to the chief. It's performed and repeated at official White House functions from her first appearance until she's ready to speak. Do we have a bit of it? Jill Biden's press secretary says the entire story is bunkum. The First Lady does not have a song anybody has written for her specifically. She has no Hail to the Chief song. She has no song. In fact, he said, well, then he says, she has no Hail to the Chief song. She has no song. She never asked anyone to write a song. Then they say, he said, Fanfare to the First Lady was the band's idea. The band approached the White House with a proposal for new music. Fanfare to the First Lady was initially written for Jill Biden. He continued. So, again, we've got contradiction, right? So she doesn't have it that they're saying, oh, no, there's no song for the First Lady. But then they're saying, well, the band said it. Now, that article goes on to say the bands are actually amused for it. So you ready to hear it? Here is Fanfare to the First Lady. So this is Bill Shapiro, what's his name? Ben Shapiro, who's also talking about this, but
revelation is from a couple of years ago. Quote, the Marine Corps band was instructed last...
Just listen to it. So have we got a play of it?
Opening theme.
Got it? Oh, here we go. I thought it was like the theme. Here it is. Here is the Fanfare to the First Lady.
The United States, Jill Biden.
Yeah, man, it sounds like.
It does. I actually was going to say it sounded like F-Troop. Hey, listen. I thought it sounded familiar. Oh, have a listen to it.
Yeah, man.
It sounds like F-Troop.
It sounds like.
It does sound like F-Troop. No one would want to put their name to that, would they? Hello. You slept in? You cannot. Yeah, I can't sleep. I couldn't sleep, so. You thought it was sped up to 1.5. No, that was it. So it says the song is terrible. Ironically, a completely bogus premise. So apparently the Marine Corps prepared fanfare for the First Lady at least twice at events. This is back in 2022. I guess we'll have to watch her other functions now to see whether she is looking at that. So Biden seems to think he's up for the job, but is he really up for the job? Surprised I'd use that piece. Usually I play very traditional songs without you. Even the Space Force officials. Something sounds better. I was interested to see a lot of the commentary today because a lot of the clips about Biden I saw today, I saw on X or the old Twitter, and I went, no, he didn't just say that, did he? He makes our bumbling fools to be here, was late and had power outage due to heat. Wow. I'm sitting that. I'm a bit cool at the moment. Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had a couple of weird ones. I think the one that was probably the weirdest was Tony Abbott. He was a bit of a bumbling fool. But he was harmless in many ways. Although he was just a puppet. There was a woman that was controlling him. He doesn't want the job. I'm really surprised that there's nobody else, that you've got two guys that are old and know better. I want to share this tab. This was Miss Balls shared this. This is, I think, must be on the YouTube channel. He's not up for the job. I'm sorry about that. He's not up for the job. So she said they didn't make much on this series. She sent me, why would Gypsy send Katie Joy her bank statement? She sent me her bank statements and there isn't much. She doesn't even have 6 figures of money. Hey, welcome to the real world. The account I was shown only had 4 figures. She's got more than me, 4 figures. I'd love to have 4 figures in my bank account. She also has to pay to live. Shock! Oh, the horror. Reality TV and books don't pay much. Oh, the horror. She has to pay to live. Does the DNA determined father pay for the test, or is it split 3 ways? Why do you care? This is such a weird question. It's always a question on who pays when dealing with family law. My guess is that the bill goes to the biological father once paternity is established. That seems most fair. And Katie says, you are being intrusive. It's not your business. Well, it is, really. She's the one. Here's the thing. She's the one that keeps insisting that Ken is 100% the father. So, which means he should be footing the bill. but she's already implying that Ryan's going to be a pain. Then there was this one. This was, and I know that I posted it. This was a little bit of TMI. Left Ryan March 23rd. Now, didn't she say that she was having trouble with her periods? She said, I had a period April 17, made love with Ken, and only him April 27, 28, 29, 30. Conceived on May 4th and tested positive on May 24th. Ken is the father, she says. Now, as I said earlier, if in the series, she took that pill because she wasn't ready to have children, if she'd made love with Ken all those days, why didn't she, and I'm assuming that was unprotected, why didn't she take the pill after all of those days if she didn't want to get pregnant? Because we all know that if you want to play with fire, you're going to get burnt. Well, exactly. What is she paying for exactly? Well, the pregnancy test. Maybe that's why she got pregnant, because she couldn't afford the little rubber bits. So even though the person that knows everything, Katie, says it's supposed to be a really nice, easy divorce, I don't know how it's going to be until they establish paternity. And she made a big to-do about taking the plan B. I would be her if I were. Well, exactly. She did. Well, that's right. That's what I've heard, that she did. She made this great big hoo-ha about that. And yet they were friends, right? And the first time they decided to go steady, they did the dirty. I think this is all a ruse. In a few months, Gypsy, at least I hope this is. Well, I'm sort of my thought process is, Mama Celeste, that something like that will occur, and I hate to say it, but that's what I'm thinking. Because at some point in time she'll realize that it's not easy, and for her to sit there and go, "Oh, my pregnancy's been easy so far," it's not. It's all going to change. And she has admitted to yelling at Ken already. So if she's going to keep yelling and get worse and worse and worse, is she the one that has the issues and not Ryan? I don't know. I just keep throwing it out there. But I get very, very worried. Although there is another guy that's covering, there's another person that's covering, that I watched today, covering Gypsy, and they were watching somebody who claims to be besties with Christy and Gypsy as well. She seems to they've seemed to have latched on to these people that just believe every word that they say. Well, it's funny because every video that I'm doing at the moment, I have to actually ask them to manually review it to say that it's suitable. Every single video that I have done in the last month. Not the tires. That's where Aubrey's tires went. Was it Aubrey's tires? Or whose tires went missing? Someone's tires went missing. The only good thing is that we haven't had to hear about Miranda. She's left them alone for a bit. Not the tires again. That's great. I did not think about that. So podcast hit number 26 on the charts today. I'm pretty excited. I'm getting excited. I'd love, like for the podcast to be top 26 out of, I don't know how many podcasts are there in the world. It's I'm pretty impressed. I mean, this is just, bearing in mind, this is just in Australia, so I'm pretty excited about that. No, I am. I'm pretty proud of that. But I just think we're a good team, and he books them. I just put them together. So for me, I've got the easy part. He will tell you he's got the easy bit. So, and he's a real journalist, by the way. He has a bachelor degree in journalism. I have nothing. And because his degree's mainly talking, he gets really, really narky if I don't speak properly sometimes. Or he'll, because you've got to finish off your letters and your words and say ing, and he'll sit there, and then sometimes I'll just deliberately cut off a sound just to get a reaction. It's like, I'm funny. But yeah, I'm really happy. But yeah, he's an archivist. Actually, I saw someone today described as a YouTube journalist, and that's really would be a better thing. Although this guy is more has lots of integrity. He does Coffee House Crime, which is a true crime channel, and he was on a documentary, and they listed him as a YouTube journalist. But because when he does his crime story, he also goes back. Not only does the story of the victims, he does the story of the person that does the crime, and looks at their background and life, and to try and find if there's any reason or was there any clues as to how it could happen. And so often there are clues, and sometimes it's mental health, and he highlights the fact that authorities or governments just aren't dealing with mental health. It's not getting that. But we're seeing a lot of stuff coming out of COVID. I don't know whether that's the same with your part of the world, but there's particularly a lot of youth crime. I think the solution is fairly simple, and maybe my simple solution. If I think back to when I was a kid, long time ago, you had youth clubs, and you had the blue light discos, and you had youth clubs, and churches were running events all the time for people, drop-in centers and hangouts. We don't have that anymore because they stopped funding it. Okay. And we don't have those in place anymore. We don't have drop-in centers. We don't have a place where they can hang out in a safe, supervised environment. Well, I guess it's called after-school care, but you've got to pay. But where the young people can go, because a lot of the crimes at the moment are between the 13s to the 17-year-olds at the moment. We need a safe space for them to be able to hang out, be themselves, and that's where the blue light discos or the youth clubs were vital. But the problem is, yes, the youth shut around when I turned 18. If there was safe places they could go, maybe that's what it is. They're bored. They're bored. That's all it is. There's no place to go. Did you see the trashy Channel 7 COVID? Apparently someone leaked the internet. No, I didn't. I did see the Channel 10 one. I did see Kate Langbrook going off about COVID or something, but that to me is a really simple solution. But the problem is it requires money, and unfortunately they don't see the value. They don't see the value, and a lot of churches and a lot of organizations, you can't make money. You can't make money from running, you can't make money from these. But what you will get up great adults in the future. They won't put money in anything they can't get money back from. So that is my rant. That's my rant at the moment. They won't invest. You're correct. They won't invest because it costs money. As I said, the solution is simple. The solution is simple. We had places we could go, even if it was. Do you mind if I message you, Joe, on Facebook tomorrow about that? Yes, you can. Yep. So for me, it's a very, very simple solution. But blue light discos were fun. And of course, blue light discos were fun. And I didn't mean to do that one. And also they were supervised by, it was also endorsed by the local police force. So you weren't gonna mess around. And you had the PCYCs, which was the Police Citizens Youth Club. All of those is where we need to be. The Victorian government invested to call the summit, and they've invested thousands and thousands of dollars on this summit to try and work out how to stop the crime rate. I went, if you give me them, to me, the solution is simple. The simple solution. And it's not just here; it's everywhere. I mean, we've got lots of knife crimes at the moment, unfortunately, but they just need something to do. That's always been the case. Whether home, they can't go to home. Home's not stable. They just need somewhere safe. And if they attached youth, you did little athletes. I did too. If they attached youth workers and youth counsellors to all of those centres, right? If you think about it, they've got a drop-in centre, they can go hang out, do what they need to do, but there's youth workers and youth counsellors that are there also so that they can try and prevent anything. It's easy. Maybe I'm too simplistic, but, I think I was out. The thing is, I had something every day after school. I think I did either some type of sports or youth activity or something. Another problem in Canada with mental health, they still need mental facilities because some people can't. Correct. And the thing is, 30 years ago, they closed down our biggest facility and they privatized mental health services, which we've suffered from. And they need to make it public again, and they need to have that facility. I know violence is increasing in schools as well, but yeah, kids need something to do. They're bored. So there's a really good series. What was it called? There was a series on the ABC which worked really well called Old People's Homes for Teenagers. And what they did is they linked up a retirement home with some kids that I'll show it to you. Like, I'm not a big fan of the ABC in Australia, but when they do it when they have good shows, they have good shows. They hooked up a set of teenagers, a group of teenagers, so a new set of teens, 14 to 16, and seniors from 71 to 94 who live in retirement village. They come together. So they picked some kids that needed some help, and they put them together with a senior. And they shared, let me show you the trailer. I'll show you the trailer. That might be the easiest one. Oh, okay. I still have to log in. All right. That's right. They need safe places. Yeah. Let me just have a look, see if I can find it. Let's log into my ABC. I don't even know what it is actually. I don't know. I can't remember. You never remember. I have everything saved, and usually on my thing I just go, yeah. But this is again, they need to put something like this into place, because some seniors are really lonely and they've got great wisdom and advice, and youth sometimes just need someone to pay attention for them. Anyway, they've done it a few times and it's worked really well, and they've formed lifelong bonds. And in fact, I think I saw one of the ones, I'll see if I can grab it another way. What's it called? Teenage. That when the child graduated from high school, they had their senior come to the graduation, stuff like that. It's proving that's what it needs. See if I can find it on here. Oh yes, Old People's Home for TV. Here we go. Old People's Homes. So here it is. Let's have a look at this. Hopefully this works.
It's meal time.
So this is a guy that talks about this was a new series. They did it as a two-part series.
Sorry.
He's still like you can see he loves his wife and here when they said they closed the group of homes in Hendersonville and they end up on the street, and they did what they do, and they cause crime.
Concerns.
Isn't that really scary though? Isn't that really scary? This is from 9 months ago. 40%. 40%. And what are we doing? That's right. They want to draft these kids into the armed services, and they wonder why they are freaking out. Correct. They don't have it. There's a connect. So the other simple solution is that we hook up young people with a retirement village and see how that. And you can see that these kids, they may not have grandparents around as well. So as I said, this is another really good concept.
That looks like a cute little.
That was what they were looking at, but just seeing if I can find. And then there was they did old people for 4-year-olds as well. Oh yes, play name this game. And name this item.
This one in the back.
I know what this is.
Show me.
Can you lift it up, please?
Oh my god. LOL.
It's an old-fashioned typewriter. Not sure what this from the top is for.
Put a pipe in and
Yeah, and voila, it works.
An old-fashioned computer,
An old-fashioned computer.
sort of.
I do find them interesting.
It takes really slow to type things though. It's like you have to wait
because it's really hard. Yeah.
like that.
I think you can figure it out because you're very clever.
But yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things are just falling out here.
God damn. What the heck? What's that? It's like a guillotine.
Honestly, I don't really know. Is it like... At first, I thought it was a speaker.
I feel like this looks like an air conditioner.
It's a sort of... It's like a fire maker of sorts.
Okay, final guess. It's a telescope.
No.
What is it?
I'd have to guess this is some sort of smelting or fiery, something related to smelting or fire.
Is it a fan? Like a fan or like an air conditioner?
As an early movie projector.
It's a projector because you put like... I don't know actually what you put, but like you put it and then... Yeah, okay, I understand. A projector.
Pills? Drugs?
Film rolls.
Yeah.
They use primarily like it's used quite a lot, like for films and displays back in the old days.
The old days.
Because they'd have like a screen, right, that they'd show it to.
Those camera have this kind of put it in and take a photo.
Oh, wow.
Do you put it in the coal, like, powered like, ships? Or...
Yeah, I've seen these in so many movies at this point that I don't even know the name, but I know exactly what they do.
So when you do it, what comes out?
Oh, air.
Yes. What's the air for?
They believe it's used mainly in either camp lodgings, trains, hot air balloons sometimes. It's used like to fan the flames.
It's a bellows.
What is that? What does that do?
Exactly what you were saying.
Really?
To start the fire.
Oh,
To
this
cook
can
food.
also be used to discipline children.
It's when my nana had one of those. So she had a stove top. She had a wood stove for most of the whole time she was that I can remember up until she passed, and she would keep it. It was great during winter, not great during summer, but she would have one of those and restart her fire. She never, ever had to relight it. Used to listen. So yes, that is what we've got. So I also think a program like that would be ideal because you've got lots of lonely oldies, lots of lonely seniors, and lots of kids that need people to take interest in them. That would be another way to do it as well, in my opinion. So I reckon we could do something. So they like to think they know everything. Yes. Look, we had issues during COVID. There were issues during COVID where they've had to change the rules for how retirement villages manage stuff, and because of there was a big outbreak. Was that in Sydney short order where there was a whole lot of seniors pass, and they discovered that they weren't doing practices, so they've actually had to give it a bit of an overhaul, and they've got to be regulated and accredited now and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah. Heaps of, but they were just brutal to these older people. Yes, it was not there. It was not nice. There was one nursing home in particular that there were big stories come out, and it really forced the government's hand about what to do. And there's still, unfortunately, nursing homes that are still locked down at the moment, because once it gets into a nursing home, it's horrible. My grandma technically passed of COVID. And it was interesting because in my state, the ones that were run by the government seemed to do better than the ones than the private ones. So that was interesting. And I also heard that I'm flipping around subjects here. I heard that the place that gave the baby register to Gypsy gave them a $500 gift card for the trouble that they had. Okay. Us Weekly actually has a story about from told a strained husband Ryan Anderson about her pregnancy immediately. Correct. When they allowed private nursing homes to lock out people's families and not see them, their elders. Well, see, we didn't see my grandma for most of her last year of due to COVID, and we discovered her dementia got worse because she couldn't do anything. So Gypsy Rose Blanchard informed a estranged husband, Ryan Anderson, about her pregnancy immediately. Gypsy told him immediately when she found out it was Ken's baby. Gypsy told him immediately when she found out it was Ken's baby. How did she know it was Ken's baby? He didn't believe it at first, the insider said. No, and Anderson, 38, was very polite about keeping Blanchard's news private. He's been more than fair and amicable to her. That's what hurts him the most. She publicly announced it on July 9th. I know rumours, according to Blanchard, she and Urka had not planned to expand, but both excited. The proceedings are ongoing. He's partly in love with her, and he feels like Ken stole his life inside ads of Anderson. He's been very down about this. It's very hard for him to get over her, but he's okay. According to Anderson, knew Blanchett's announcement was coming, but he still respects her, and he's not ugly to her. And that's the thing. I mean, I've not seen him. Erica contacted former fiancée Gypsy Rose after she got out of jail, to Anderson's dismay. She has denied she ended the marriage to Anderson to be with Erica. Of course she did. I mean, if you've got an ex contacting you after being married, that's only going to spell trouble. It was an insecurity that there was for a long time. I called Ken 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before I got married. Ken has consistently been brought up in a way that I can never let go of my feelings, but I have to put them on the back burner to do what's best for my marriage, she told me. Having that to be the point of contention has been a thread throughout, but I didn't leave Ryan for Ken. It was just sort of a realization, hey, we still love each other. Well, then, therefore, you did love each other. Oh, yes. It does look so funny. Oh, Lord. She's wearing the same thing she's wearing in that pregnancy shoot. Thank you to the people that did her teeth for restoring my smile. You've given me a level of confidence I never knew possible. Oh, dear. See, it's the same picture, same clothes. There. She got moving pretty fast. And don't forget, she's got a book coming out. My Time to Stand, a memoir. That was 6 weeks ago. 7 weeks ago. Now, someone was also saying, and I don't know whether it's true, that she was on, yeah, I think that's possible, Estee. That's what it looks like. That was 13 weeks ago. And when they were just friends, hey? Someone said that she was on that weight loss thing, Olympic something, and that messes up with your cycles as well and counteracts birth control. So, as I said, I don't understand whether if she didn't want to, she didn't take the morning after pill or whatever it is, or Plan B. You call it Plan B. I think we call it the morning after pill. Why she didn't do that, other than the fact that she wanted to get pregnant. And if you were so sure it was Ken's, why are you so certain? Why are you jumping up and down and telling everybody that you're 100%? I mean, if you're certain, you wouldn't be arguing the case, would you? You'd just let people say what they want to say. But the fact she's come out and given exact dates is very suspicious. So I love this. This is from a place. Oh, this is from Perth now. Perth is in Western Australia. It says the heading, straight to the point. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, mum murderer pregnant to Ken Urquhart only 6 months after being released from prison. So and 3 months after she separated, or it says 3 months after her divorce. They're not divorced yet. So makes it sound, she's been out of prison for 6 months. and separated for 3. And she's 11 weeks pregnant. Even Don does it. She said the baby looks happy, healthy and happy. I still don't know how you can tell. I still don't know how you can tell that somebody's happy and healthy, how a baby's happy and healthy. And don't forget, she said she needs more time to find herself and then goes and jumps in the bed with Ken. So yeah, I just don't understand. I just don't understand any of that. To be honest with you, I don't understand any of that. So I'm not going to be up for much longer. I need to go. I need to try and get some sleep. So, believe it or not, I've got an early day. I've got a big day tomorrow. So, hopefully, it'll be a good day. He did look on good for parole, didn't he? So would she have to have Art's permission to leave the house to move with her parents? Or live with her dad? The only thing that concerns me is that she wanted a dog or puppy, didn't she? And she got a puppy and then she left the puppy behind. And so, unfortunately, you can't do that with a baby. And that's, I think, the sort of the thing that worries me just a little bit. You can't do that with a baby. So, she's got 9.9 million followers on TikTok, Gypsy. Look at this. 9.9, and she's got business email, Gypsy Rose Blanchard Media. Oh, I thought if I clicked live, I'd get Gypsy's lives, but obviously you don't. See, I know nothing here. New hair, new teeth. Of course, they probably are. What does Ken do for a living? Can he support a child? Okay, I'm a bit. Let's just. I want to look at this Q&A. Oh, gee whiz. Okay, let's have a look.
On doing any advocacy work? If so, what groups or organizations would you like to work with? So I would like to
look at the. Can I just say, look at the top. I don't know whether you can see that. Let me make this big. Look at that.
to work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I feel like after my experience, I honestly feel like I really want to give back. It wasn't fair to those kids what my mom did, getting me a wish. I'm pretending to make me look like a sick child so my mother could get us a free trip to Disney. My first trip to Disney, I was 10 years old. I was a child.
Okay. Oh, gee, that's it. That like she only answered one question. Oh.
What is your favorite book, movie, or movie that inspires you? I've always been a huge fan of the Harry Potter books. I feel like the overall message of the books is so inspiring. And I feel like I kind of relate to that a little bit. It's all about overcoming some part of your past that that has been very dark for you. So for
I was born and raised.
Apparently, you have to be friends to be able to comment. So anyway, not much there. So she obviously posts, obviously goes live a lot, it would seem. Hang on. I see what people are talking about. So people have said that those pictures could possibly be fake because, from my memory, I don't know that I can make it any bigger. But somebody pointed out that it looked very big picture. Oh no, see it makes it smaller. Maybe I can. Oh, there we go. That looks a bit bigger than, in my opinion. There's quite a size on that. I'll have to go and find my ultrasound photos. Okay, it is possible. Okay. Might be. Although maybe they've got them upside down. Because I thought it looks like it could be upside down. So this is what someone's saying their 11-week ultrasound. This is what they're saying an 11-week ultrasound looks like. And she's saying that Where are we? She's got that. I think they're upside down. That's better. That one's better. Yeah, her voice is very grating. I thought they had more high-tech ones too now. I've seen people that's had them in colour. But anyway, I don't know. But she had a professional photo shoot done. That's a better, that's up the right way now. I know people have alleged that they may not be real ultrasound photos. I don't know. And remember, 11 weeks of pregnancy, which is 9 weeks after conception, apparently, according to the Mayo Clinic. You thought it was KJ's voice? Yeah, they've got similar voices, in my opinion. She did, didn't she? Actually, I hadn't realised that. Yes, she seems to have done that. Yes. Well, that's not somebody that I'd really want to. Oh, hold on. Someone says, "Oh, she's still going." Oh, someone. Oh, this was just posted. This has been posted. You cannot say that for sure, and you should know that too. I hope for Ryan's sake that it's not his. She says, "Of course I know. She's due in January. She has an ultrasound from the doctor. She conceived while she was with Ken. Ryan and her had been split for more than a month. So, of course, she knows." I'm waiting for her to say, "Of course I know. I was there when they conceived." And we all know that we all know that ultrasounds and everything are like perfect, don't we? Not. Of course I know. Dave last period coming, but she was saying she was having irregular ones, Ruth. That's the issue. Well, that's what she said on her thing. That's what she said on the live. Well, she said, according to her, She had a period on the 17th of April. She had a period on the 17th of April, made love with Ken and only him. So she said April 17, didn't she? So again, if we take those dates, possible. But then are we going to believe that she didn't try and play Ryan and Ken off each other? Well, that's right. She's not known for the truth. Correct. They said the 25th of January, around the 25th of January. And we get slightly different dates. May the 2nd to May the 6th. Possible dates, 29th of April to May 6th, possible conception dates, sex dates. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait for paternity, eh? For the paternity tests to come through to really know what's happening. So anyway, I'm going to head off to bed. I think I've just started to get really tired. It's just hit me all of a sudden, and it's 1:30. It's just on 1:30 a.m. So I've got to get up in a few hours. So I may as well try and get some sleep while I can. So thank you for keeping me company tonight, and we've talked about a whole range of topics. I think we've solved all the problems of the world. See, this is all we need to do. Solve all the problems of the world. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you again. I'm hoping to come back on tomorrow or later in the day, my time. So anyway, so if you hit like and subscribe for me, that would be great. Thank you for all your support and for watching me. All right, see you later, everybody, and see you next time. Bye for now.